Just another brother with another humble question. Just another brother with another humble question.
Welcome to A Brother with Questions. I am your host, B. Period. Man, I appreciate you for joining me. We're going to dive in today, and we're going to watch this and react to this video from Roland Martin. We don't always agree on everything politically, but on this particular topic, we are lock and step here. But before I go in here, let me not forget to ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that little notification button too, so when the videos come out, you will get notified. We are out every Monday and Thursday. How did I forget that? We're out every Monday and Thursday with new content, man. But we're gonna dive right in, having a conversation about equity. Here we go.
So if Castanet came to fan base and he got off Twitch, he can make more money than he making at Twitch than he make with you. He can make more money with you than he making at Twitch.
I tell you how he could. I give him equity in the company. I give him equity in it.
But that's a gamble.
No, it's
that's not like.
Want to know why it's not? Does Castanet have the ability to move people where he wants them to move?
I don't know if he knows.
Yes, he does. When they went to New York City, tried to get away from PlayStation, and the motherfuckers mobbed the whole shit.
Okay, you're right. That's
so,
right.
Okay, so Castanet said, I'm over at fan base. I'm going to fan base, but he owns part of the company. Fan base goes from 600,000 plus users to 1 million users in like 24 hours. That means the fan base becomes $1 billion company. Now, the same people that invested in all them companies, ripping all of their failed, look at me like, oh shit, we got to go get $100 million because he's about to blow up. It's like I always
but that's you. But I'm saying yes, you. So how do we get Castanet that money though? That's what I'm saying.
Because they'll have equity. Yeah, they'll have equity in the company.
But equity. You know, equity. Wait. Hold on. I'm just trying to tell you, equity to don't sound like money in the hand, right? Just like Magic Johnson, they offered Magic Johnson equity in Nike, and he signed to Converse, but he's a guy from Detroit.
So you see, they keep bleeping out the N-word. But just for context, for those that don't know, the gentleman on top, his name is Isaac Hayes. The gentleman on the bottom, his name is Jermaine Dupri. And so Isaac Hayes has or owns a social media platform called Fanbase. So he markets it as one of the, I wouldn't say one of the first Black social media apps, but he's marketing as a unique social media app in the sense that he's trying to build something in the vein of an Instagram, a YouTube, or I would compare it, I guess, to YouTube is what he's trying to do. And so in the conversation, they're having a conversation about Castanet. So Castanet, for those that don't know him, he is a huge Twitch user, plays video games on Twitch and is huge. At this moment too, of course, he's expanded to other platforms. I know he's pretty big on TikTok as well. But what the conversation that they're having is Isaac Hayes is talking about equity. And so he's talking about Castanet coming over and starting to use Fanbase as a platform. And he's saying if he does, he can help him potentially make more money over time by coming over to Fanbase than he would just staying with Twitch. And so the play that they're discussing is equity. Okay, so equity, of course, I'm sure a lot of my users might know all this already, but for those that don't, Equity is when you own part of something. In this case, he's talking about giving Kai Cenat equity in fan base. And so by doing so, when fan base grows, of course, and in Isaac Hayes' mind, he's trying to make fan base again on the level of Instagram, Twitch, right? $45 billion company, $100 billion country, $100 billion company, right? When, in his mind, fan base grows to become that, the value of the equity that Kai Cenat could potentially get from him is going to be worth 10 times, 20 times more than the money that he would ever make by continuing to just use Twitch. And so Jermaine Dupri is arguing, black people don't understand that. Black people want money in hand. Black people want to know, so you can give me $50,000 today, right? Yeah, give me the 50. They don't understand the concept of getting nothing today, but getting the shares in this company that might be worth $100 billion 20 years from now. So that's the conversation I have.
Detroit that didn't understand the word equity. So that's all I'm saying. My phone going crazy. We're going to do this later on.
All right.
But I'm just saying.
All right, so this is the conversation Jermaine Dupri was referencing about Magic Johnson. Watch this.
Winning the national championship, and 3 companies came in: Converse, Adidas, and Nike. Nike was just a year or 2 old. Converse offered me the most money. So, you know, when you grow up broke, you take the money. Phil Knight came in and said, hey, I can't offer you the same type of money, but I can offer you stock.
Wasn't trying to hear that then.
I wasn't trying.
I wasn't trying to hear that then.
And I didn't know nothing about it. And my family didn't come from money.
Yeah.
See, that's one thing that hurt us sometimes. When you don't come from money, you don't know. I didn't even know what stocks was at that time. So I passed on the stocks.
So he's going to go on and finish this story. But as he says, Phil Knight, owner of Nike at the time, offered him stock. He tells the story, the stock was worth about 17 cents a share at that time. Had he taken that stock deal, today Magic Johnson would own $5 billion in Nike stock. But to Jermaine Dupri's point, brothers don't understand stock. Brothers want to know how much cash you're gonna give me today. And so Converse brought that back. And so the young Magic at the time knew what a bag was. He knew what, I don't know what he never says how much they offered, but whatever it was, he knew how much that was because he could touch it, he could feel it. And so as a result, he took the bag and not the stock. And now, I mean, Magic is doing all right? Magic is, I believe Magic is worth about $1 billion now, but imagine had he had that Nike stock, which alone would have been worth $5 billion. Imagine where he could be. Because Magic wants to be a team owner one day. He's minority team owner in the Dodgers and the Broncos, I believe it is. But imagine had he had $5 billion. Would he be the minority owner in the Broncos? Not the Broncos. I think it's the Commanders, actually. Would he be the minority owner? And the minority owner in the Dodgers? Or would Magic be the majority owner? I'm just saying. Equity. That's the conversation, man. So Roland's going to continue this conversation with Isaac Hayes, the owner of Fanbase. So we're going to skip to that real quick.
Doggone well. Magic still like, damn, I wish I had that $5.2 billion. Isaac Hayes III joins us right now. He's the founder of Fanbase. And Isaac, Magic just sat there and said, when you don't know, that's what makes it worse. The reality is the brother who you were talking about and cats today, they know it's all around. Everybody is talking about it, but the reality is a lot of us want to go for that quick money in our hand, not realizing that if they are paying you X, they making 4, 5, 6, 10, 20 times more money, you making them rich. So
paying attention to just like sports contracts, right? So right now in the NBA, when you get those max contracts, you have to hit certain incentives, but a lot of them are getting ready to do that now. And so Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics was one of the first. And so he signed a deal, 5 years, I think it's about $350 million. So over 5 years, that works out to be about, what is that? About $60 million a year, I believe it is. Yeah. So that's what they're paying one player. Now the Boston Celtics are about to pay another player a similar amount. So 2 players on the team over the next 5 to 6 years are going to be paid over $700 million for 2 people. 2 people on the team are going to make $60-something million a year. So if the owner can afford to pay $120 million for 2 people, right? And we're talking a team of about 15. So 2 of the 15 are going to make 120. How much is he making to pay 2 people $120 million a year? That's what he's talking about, man. Because I don't pay 2 people $120 million a year if I'm not making a few $1 billion a year. So, yes, it's amazing that they make that kind of money. But for me, I'm always going to be more impressed with the owner. Because the owner is paying 2 people over $100 million and not batting an eye. Because he already know. My bag going to be way bigger than that.
the young brother you're talking about, he's huge on Twitch. How much is Twitch valued at?
Twitch is valued at $45 billion.
Whoa, hold up. This young brother is one of the biggest folks on Twitch, but Twitch is valued at 45 billion?
45 billion.
And I guarantee you this brother ain't worth 450 million.
He'll get there. I think he'll get there, but he has to make the type of moves that I'm offering. He's going to have to do those type of deals. Something interesting. Somebody pointed out something interesting to me today about equity, in that there's another streamer, this kid named Aiden Ross. He's on a platform called Kick, and Kick gave him equity in the platform. He's white. He's a streamer. He has equity in Kick. Kai Cenat is on Twitch, which was already acquired by Amazon, but he's making a lot of money and he has a very good split on the revenue that he brings in, but he doesn't have equity. And that is my point in introducing the conversation of equity, even with fan base raising capital. So let's be clear. Even the round that we're raising on Start Engine, everybody that invests in fan base is getting equity. So equity is the word of the day, whether it is offered in exchange for services and consulting for somebody that has a massive following like Kai Cenat, or whether anybody watching this program right now invests in fan base, you're having equity and ownership in a company, right? And so as time progresses, these companies grow in value. They reach enormous amounts of billion-dollar valuations in social media. Facebook is worth $2.2 trillion with a T, right? And so imagine, like I said, someone like Magic having that experience with 45 years of Nike stock going from 17 cents a share to about $100 a share and being worth $5 billion. right now with fan base, equity is right now our shares are $665 a share, and we are valued at $160 million. But let's hypothesize again that fan base becomes worth $160 billion, which is half the value of Instagram, half the value of TikTok, and not even a tenth of the value of Facebook. That's still 1,000x return on your investment. So if you put in.
All right. So that's the word of the day. I mean, he's talking about fan base. His goal is to use fan base to create the largest number of millionaires, black millionaires, at any one particular time is what his goal is. He's done his research. If you watch the rest of this interview, he's done his research, and when he talks about Robert Johnson. Robert Johnson is the gentleman who started BET, and when he sold BET to Viacom, at that time he created the largest number of black millionaires at one time. And so his goal, Isaac Hayes III, with fan base, is he's encouraging black people to invest in fan base. Right now, if you go to his Start Engine fund, capital fund that he's raising, he's got about, I think it's a little over 10,000 people who have invested in fan base. And so he's hoping one day to grow fan base, like he said, to, on the low end, let's say half of what Instagram and some of these other companies are worth. And if he can do that at the pace that he's going, he would then create the largest number of black millionaires at one particular time. And that's his goal. And he's trying to do that by teaching people about equity. And so Kai Cenat is just one example, but of course there are tons of examples of people who have platforms on other apps that if they could come to his app, he's offering equity in his app, not cash up front. He's offering equity. And so in a similar fashion, Roland tells a story later in this video that Howard Stern did a similar type deal where Howard Stern put benchmarks in his contract with SiriusXM. And every time a benchmark is reached in that contract, Howard Stern makes even more money. And so if Isaac Hayes III could partner with some black content creators to come over to his platform, he's hoping to do the same thing through equity. And as the milestones are reached, get your equity. When we get this company up to several $100 billion in valuation, we could sell this company and we're all going to be millionaires. That's the goal. Equity. And speaking to Magic's point, most young people most black people don't understand the concept of equity because equity doesn't feed my family today. And that's the challenge that they have. I got a problem today. I need to solve this problem today. Equity doesn't do that. But one of the things that we have to change our brains and our mindsets to understand is that if you don't own nothing, what are we doing? That's why home ownership is so important. Because if you own that home and one day you own it long enough, that's several 100,000, that's several million, depending on where your home is located, in equity that you have that you can tap into to do something else. If you buy a stock and that stock grows, if you invest in fan base and fan base becomes the next big tech app worth hundreds of billions of dollars, that's the equity you need to be able to take a launch pad to something else. And one of the things that we're always reminded of when it comes to the spending power of the black community, every year we're spending more than $1 trillion. I think we're almost close to $2 trillion that we're spending in goods every year. Imagine if instead of spending that on Mercedes and Louis and all these other brands that aren't feeding back into our communities that we are so concerned about, imagine we started taking that money and investing in Black businesses who invested back into the community. We can stop having conversations about what the government needs to do. We can stop having conversations about if Democrats are better for Black people or Republicans are better for Black people. And we can start having conversations about how we're changing our own communities. And we can really get down to the business of forcing people to vote in the manner that we want, not because we're shedding tears or because they feel sorry for us, but because they are trying to get access to our dollars. They're trying to get access for their campaigns. And because they know they need us for their campaign money, for their campaign finance, they're not giving you lip service anymore. They're taking real meetings because they understand my 100,000 can go to Democrat A or Republican A. Who's got the better idea for me? Because that's who's going to get that. When we can have those conversations, the community would change. And on that note, I'm B. Period, and I'm out.
Yeah.